Hello and welcome back to another video within the Mix Light and Sound. I'm Nate and today we have a little bit of a different video. This video is going to be a unboxing and a review. Our friends over at Shehdslighting reached out to me and asked me to review one of their fixtures. So here it is in this big giant box. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up this box. We're going to take a look at the different options in the fixture. And then what we're going to do is later on, we're going to have some gigs that we're going to take these out to and give them a good test before I give my final review here. So thank you again for tuning in and stay tuned. All right, and here we go, opening up the box. So this box definitely has a little bit of weight to it. I think it's over 25 pounds or so. So as we're opening this up, we are double boxed. That's always a good sign to keep everything protected in transit. We're going to open it up again. And first thing we have is our manual. So we'll put our little blade aside here. So we'll take some time to go through that. So the fixture we're reviewing today is the 200 watt 3-in-1 beam moving light with the little ring version here. So we'll take a look here. We use the Wolfmix lighting controller. So I went ahead of time. I don't think there's an actual fixture profile for this one. So we're gonna have to make one. Here we have our DMX modes as far as running through the menu, all the scene information, and then here we have our DMX channels. We have 20 mode, it looks like, and a 23 mode. All right, let's see what else is in the box. So we have, all right, so everything is held in nice foam here, and here is the fixture. Wow, look at this guy. That is pretty big. So we have the actual fixture itself. Looks like we have a DMX cable. We have a safety cable. And on the other side here, we have a power cable with PowerCon. So we're going to go ahead and lift this out and take a closer look at the fixture. All right, so it comes with a nice plastic cover here. I'll take that off. And here we are. Look at that, nice solid beam head. Here's the ring. Nice smooth movements on its own here. It's got the Shehds branding on the side. And we'll take a closer look at the back panel, and then we'll plug it in and see how it works, and we'll take a look through the menu here. Here's a closer look at the back panel of the fixture. So we have 5-pin DMX in and out, 3-pin DMX in and out, PowerCon in, PowerCon out, a fuse, and an on-off switch. On the bottom of the fixture, we have clamps that are built right in, and they're on a hinge so they can fold up easily. And we have the cleat here for the safety cable, and it looks like this bottom piece all can come off in one assembly. It looks like they're just on with hex bolts here. All right, so we have it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and turn it on for the first time. Turn on the switch in the back, and here we go. Looks like the startup and the self-test goes really fast once you boot these up. So with that, we're going to go ahead through the menu next. Here's a closer look at the menu here. So what we have is our navigation over to the side here, which is really responsive. So the first option is DMX and the two different channel modes here. So if we hit enter, we can choose between 23 and 20 mode, and then we can set up our address there. If we hit back, it brings us back to the menu. We have run work here, so we can choose DMX control, scenes, sound mode, auto mode, and back to DMX again. Scene mode, looks like there's 10 scenes that we can place in here. I'll have to read what M sides is and then what turbo mode is. I'm not sure what that is. Display, we've got English, screensaver, we've got the screen rotate, DMX indicator, the signal and the brightness. And then here it looks like where we can control our scenes. So we can choose what scene, scene time, control mode. Looks like we have controls for pan, tilt. We've got strobe, dimmer, color, gobo rotate. So this looks like it follows the, let's see, the 20 channel mode. So we can individually put our DMX values here. This is going to be handy later as I try to build my profile, because unfortunately in the manual, when we get to the color wheel here, it doesn't give the DMX values for the different colors or the different gobos. So we're going to have to scroll through those and take notes as to the color and the gobo so that we can build out our profile. Under advanced, we can invert pan and tilt, pan tilt rectify, pan tilt offsets, hold, scene time, factory settings, calibrations, and then finally the info. So we got motor info, error logging, versions, current time, light time, total time. And that's it for the menu. There is also a service port that's a USB-C over on the side here. Now I know it's daylight out here, but I wanted to run this in auto mode just so you can hear how quiet this fixture actually is with the fan running, and when it makes its movements here, how quiet the fixture is. Actually very smooth in its movements. All right, and then we'll run some samples and we'll get some info as we build our profile here. All right, now that we have our profile created in Wolfmix, we'll take you through a couple of the options here. So we'll start with the colors, and then we'll work our way through some of the other features, including the gobos, the prisms, the zooms, and focus. So we're gonna go ahead and scroll through some colors. You have your white open. You have some half mixes here. This example is red and white to red, green and yellow, green, and you have your color scrolls, fast to slow, and then you have counterclockwise scroll, fast to slow, or slow to fast. We'll leave it on white. Next up we have our first gobo wheel. We have an open slot, a small spot, Then we have our gobo shakes, slow to fast. And then our scroll through clockwise and counterclockwise, fast to slow, and then slow to fast. And we have our second gobo wheel. Now we're going to have to adjust the focus for this one. Some of the gobos on the second wheel are pretty cool looking, like you got that cool star there. Some of them have colors built in. And then again we have our shakes, slow to fast. And then our scroll, fast to slow, clockwise and counterclockwise. Now for these guys, we'll go back to, let's go to our star. The second gobo wheel has the ability to rotate. So the first couple settings here are a manual rotate. As I'm scrolling through the DMX settings here, it's rotating, but once I get to a certain value, now it'll auto rotate, fast to slow. And then reverse in the counterclockwise, slow to fast. Next up, we do have a zoom option here. So I can zoom in and make it really tiny. Now, of course, I have to change the focus here. The smaller the beam, the brighter the reflection is what I'm noticing on this fixture. But now what we can do is we can add in our prism. And again, we can go in and focus that up a little bit more. So now this has the gobo rotation happening, and now we have the prism. And now we can also rotate the prism. We have that manual, and then once we get to a certain setting, then it goes slow to fast, clockwise or counterclockwise. I will just go back to a regular open spot. And let's talk about the zoom. So the zoom function can zoom out pretty wide here. That's part of that 3-in-1 fixture. And then what we also have on top of that is a frost option that can be turned on. And that gives us more of that wash. And with the frost, we can still do the zoom in and out. And you can see it zooms out pretty wide. I'm only focusing this about probably about 8 feet away on the wall. So now we'll go through some of the functions on the ring here. And as we work through the ring values, the first settings are off. Then we get individual colors like red, green, blue, white, and so on. And after we get past the individual colors, then we start getting into different effects. Now we also have a speed channel, so we can slow these down. Or speed them up, and also reverse from clockwise to counterclockwise for some of the effects here. And then there's a third channel, which is a strobe channel. So that'll have its different strobe values. And there we have the ring. A real quick feature we'll mention here on the menu is this fan mode, so you can hear the fan in the background. It's on turbo mode right now. We can also put it on a silent mode. And you can hear that definitely changes the fan noise there. What it also does is it automatically reduces the brightness of the fixture as well. So if we go back onto turbo mode, the brightness increases, but so does the fan noise.